up as a kid. All a nigga wanna have was a Burberry scarf and $3 in my pocket. Instead I got beat with a switch, but I don't give a fuck, but it's on my body. Scars all up on me, but I run around from.
Recently, it came out that Alex Smith was cleared to practice and play football for the Washington football team. And a lot of people have been asking the question, will Alex Smith start over Dwayne Haskins? And a lot of people have been asking me to make a video on this or make a topic about this on my podcast. Now, I held off a little bit because I wanted to talk to my Washington football insider who knows the Washington football team really well, and he's really reliable with giving out good analysis on the state of the Washington football team. So I wanted to get his thoughts first before I made this topic on my podcast. And he basically told me that it is still Dwayne Haskins' job to lose. Because a lot of people are just looking at this as Alex Smith is coming back. He's automatically going to start over Dwayne Haskins because a lot of people are going off Dwayne Haskins' rookie year, and he wasn't all that great. And a lot of people are going off what Alex Smith has done during his NFL career. But a lot of people have to realize Alex Smith is 36 years old, and he's coming off not only a career-ending injury, what we thought was a career-ending injury, but was a potential life-threatening injury. So you look at that, and plus you look at the fact that this guy hasn't played football in nearly 2 years. Now, a lot of people are under the speculation that Alex Smith is still the same quarterback that he was before the injury. But he may not be. We haven't seen this guy play in nearly 2 years. Now, Ron Rivera has said that this is an open quarterback competition. This quarterback battle is basically up for grabs. Anybody could start. Kyle Allen could start. Haskins could start. Alex Smith could start. Now, I still believe that, like my Washington football insider said, that this is still Dwayne Haskins' job to lose. Alex Smith is 36 years old. He probably doesn't really have that many years left of playing. And you drafted Dwayne Haskins with your first round selection a year ago. Now, given if you use a first round selection on a guy, basically on a quarterback that high, and you start him for the remainder of the season last year, you probably, if you're being smart, will most likely start that guy this season regardless of Alex Smith coming back, because Alex Smith is just too many question marks around Alex Smith. Like, a lot of people keep saying these questions about, is Dwayne Haskins a bust? Can Dwayne Haskins play? Well, you can make the same debate for Alex Smith. Can Alex Smith play? Is Alex Smith still good enough that he can be a serviceable starter for the Washington football team? So, I mean, the same questions that you are making about Dwayne Haskins, you can make those same questions and those same arguments about Alex Smith. We haven't seen Alex Smith touch a football in 2 years, and that's a problem that a lot of people have. Like, a lot of people just see a guy who has had success in the NFL just get cleared to play coming off an injury, and they just automatically want to pencil him in as a starter. But a lot of people don't go into the mindset of saying, I haven't seen this guy play in 2 years. This guy's coming off of nearly a life-threatening leg injury. Can this guy even play football at a high level? Is he going to be the same quarterback that he was before the injury? But those are the questions that a lot of people don't think about. They just go off name recognition. They say, oh, Alex Smith, a guy who has won a lot of games, has been a really good starter, has been a Pro Bowler. A lot of people just look at what the quarterback has done in the past, but don't think about the present. They don't think about the right now. Maybe Alex Smith is just coming back to be a good mentor to Dwayne Haskins and collect that check. Because, in my opinion, I don't care if the Washington football team is trying to win now. You drafted Dwayne Haskins to be your franchise quarterback. And basically, he was your starter to close out the season. And the only way Dwayne Haskins is going to get better is if he continues to play. He's not going to get better watching Alex Smith on the bench. He's not going to get better taking notes. He had that chance. Like Alex Smith is a good starter, but we don't know if he's still going to be a good starter. Dwayne Haskins started his career off watching and taking notes from Case Keenum, and we saw how that went. So, I mean, the narrative that a lot of people think that a quarterback is necessarily going to get better just watching a veteran quarterback play isn't entirely true all the time. Sometimes the only way a quarterback can get better is by playing in the game. And if you're the Washington football team, the only way Dwayne Haskins is going to get better is if you start Dwayne Haskins. And if you ask me, I still believe that Dwayne Haskins gives the Washington football team the best chance to win because we've seen him play. We know he's going to get better, and we know he has a lot of potential. He has a lot of upside versus putting in Alex Smith, a guy who hasn't started in nearly 2 years, and we don't even know if Alex Smith is still going to be the same player that he was prior to that leg injury. So if you ask me, I'd rather go with the younger guy in Dwayne Haskins, a guy who I wasted a first-round selection on, who I penciled in to be the future at the quarterback position for the Washington football organization. So I'm going with Dwayne Haskins to win this job. Now, I'm not counting out Alex Smith. Alex Smith could come in and dominate in training camp, could win out, and be the week 1 starter for the Washington football team. I'm not ruling that situation out. All I'm saying is that we don't know. We know that Dwayne Haskins has a lot of potential. We know he has a lot of upside. But we don't know about Alex Smith. We don't know how good Alex Smith is going to be coming off that injury. We don't know how much Alex Smith has left in the tank. We don't even know if Alex Smith is still going to be the same player that he was prior to his injury. So, I mean, it's a lot of question marks concerning the quarterback situation for the Washington football team. But I still believe that this is Dwayne Haskins' job to lose. Alex Smith is 36 years old. He's coming off a deadly leg injury. And we don't really know how good he's going to be. Now, you can make the same argument about Dwayne Haskins. You can say that Dwayne Haskins wasn't all that great. But, I mean, look how bad that Washington football team was last season. The offensive line was terrible. The coaching situation was terrible. Now you're bringing a guy in Ron Rivera, and Ron Rivera really does like Dwayne Haskins. So, I mean, I'm still taking Dwayne Haskins to be the week 1 starter for the Washington football team. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm sleeping on Alex Smith. I know a lot of people are going to get upset about that, but I'm not sleeping on Alex Smith. I still think Alex Smith could shock a lot of people and still win his job, but as of right now, if the season wants to start today, I'm pretty sure Washington would go with Dwayne Haskins. You used the first-round selection on him. A guy doesn't get better by simply watching another guy play. The only way Dwayne Haskins is going to get better is by playing in-game. Nothing beats in-game experience. And Alex Smith is 36 years old. In the NFL, even though the Washington football team may be in a win-now situation, I still think that Dwayne Haskins still gives that football team the best shot at winning right away. Because we don't really know if Alex Smith. It's too many unknowns. And a lot of you guys don't think about it. Which one would you prefer? A guy that you know can play right now, or a guy that you don't really know can play right now? You don't even know how good this guy really is. You're just going based on what he did in the past. But this is a guy who hasn't touched the football in 2 years versus a guy who has touched the football, who did have a little bit of his ups and downs, but did start the finish the season off for the Washington football team off strong. He had a pretty good game against the Giants, although the Giants defense wasn't nothing special, but Dwayne Haskins did show some promise. It's all about the coaching staff and putting the necessary tools around Dwayne Haskins to be successful. So, I mean, we had the unknown in Dwayne Haskins to start off the 2019 season. Now you're going to start another quarterback who you don't really know is going to be all that good in Alex Smith. You're just going off the assumption as a fan that Alex Smith is going to be good and that he is better than Dwayne Haskins based on what he's did in the past. But a lot of people have this tendency when it comes to football of living in the past. And instead of living in the past, you got to think about the now. Ask yourself, Alex Smith coming off a life-threatening leg injury, is he better than Dwayne Haskins right now? Does he give Dwayne Haskins a situation that Dwayne Haskins is just, not better than Alex Smith coming off that leg injury and that Dwayne Haskins has to sit behind him and learn? Or is Dwayne Haskins a better quarterback than Alex Smith right now? So those are the questions that you have to ask yourself before you just go ahead and automatically pencil in Alex Smith as a starter. Maybe Alex Smith has just came back to groom Dwayne Haskins and collect his last check of his contract. Maybe he is coming to compete. But you got to ask yourself, if you're making the decision, are you going to start a guy who hasn't played football in 2 years? Or are you going to start a guy who is penciled in as the potential future of your franchise? So I'm still going with Dwayne Haskins. I still think Dwayne Haskins gives this Washington football team the best chance to win. And I mean, Alex Smith, I love Alex Smith and all, but we haven't seen Alex Smith play in nearly 2 years.